F125 is here, and in today's video I'm going to be driving Silverstone reverse in the rain. Yes, we'll see what the wet weather and the AI can do, because the AI have had in the past been a little bit OP in the wet, but I've set this up to be a half and half, so it'll be half on the full wet tyres and half on the intermediate tyres. Then race strategy is, well, I mean, yeah, it's one wet and one inter. That session forecast is still bugged and has been for 1,000 years at this point, so don't ignore that. Basically, we will be going on to the intermediate tyre at some point, even though it does say that the delta is 27%. I'm going to change the one thing on the default setup and put the front wing up 2 clicks. That's it. That's all I've changed with the default setup here at Silverstone. So 5 red lights then for the British Grand Prix, driving as Ollie Bearman from 15th on the grid, and away we go. It's a better start than Sainz there. I don't know what that Aston Martin Stroll was doing. I'm going to try and get in front of Hajar too. Had a look at Lawson down in turn 1. It's a bit of an off-camera set. I haven't done any. The only driving I've done so far was about 4 laps in time trial last night. That's it. So we go round the outside there to defend from Stroll. I've never driven this circuit in this configuration, but I'm going to show you a concern that I have with the game, with the AI already. Look at him. Look at the gap to Lawson. He's 4 tenths. We're going through Beckett's and Maggots, as I think it should be called. And look at the exit he's got. He's got 3 tenths already. 3 tenths, 4 tenths there gained on me. That is F122 levels of how much they gain on traction alone. So they haven't definitely not finished traction. Up at the front, it's a McLaren 1-2, business as usual there, with Verstappen down in P3. As well as we're watching Yuki Tsunoda going through Beckett's and Maggots. Going to get time to take uses. Tsunoda has had a Spinala. A bit more gravel on the tyres for sure this year, but that'll put him at the back. A little bit wary of the fact that he's managed to spun on that tyre. Now, I do have to complaints about the harvest. What is this ERS? Because it says reduced harvesting here. I double checked. I'm still on medium. I'm not using ERS assist, by the way, as well. So I'm really not sure what that is, unless it's reset for some reason as well. But yes, Sainz has got in front of Stroll there, because Stroll was behind. What happened to Stroll? So we're on board with Stroll. He had to go trying to go around the outside of that corner. You already see the dry line coming in, and then Sainz almost made contact there with Lance Stroll. We'll have a off-board replay. So obviously Stroll goes deep into the corner, and Sainz says full advantage and gets in front. So it's the Williams driver, not the Aston Martin, that's behind me now, which, I mean, it's a little bit more of a problem, and Sainz is going to try and set it down the inside. He backs out going into Cots though, so that is interesting to see the way the AI are going to behave on this year's game, especially on, well, we've got new LiDAR scan tracks as well as these reverse tracks as well to figure out. As well, Stroll's actually going to lose another position here to Isaac Hajar in the Racing Bull, Toro Rosso, RB, whatever they call themselves this week as well. But Stroll's actually going to come back at him on the run out of Beckett's and Maggots towards Cops, and Stroll will have the inside line here. Not really sure which is the best way to do it, but looks like Hajar has the better traction on the outside of Cops there as well. Jump to lap 9. It's time for intermediates. Tyre wear as well. Yes, absolutely. I think that's going to be a game experiment where potentially looking at how the setup influences tyre wear too. Obviously, for me, it seems to be the rear tyres, and I've seen a few others, people running the default tyre pressures as well, struggling with rear tyre wear. So I'm interested to see what that will do. The Inters go on, it's a 2.4 second stop, no pit stop error, thank goodness. As well, it's a bit, obviously the pit lane entry here is going to be a bit, well, it's actually better for racing here, as well as there is the pit lane exit. Silverstone is one of the worst pit lanes. This is actually one of the better exits, because you can just accelerate, and it's actually, you turn up into turn 3 as well. That's what my thinking is here, you know, as you're coming through, you're going slowly where they are accelerating. There's no line there, but they've not added a line there, so there's no white line to cross as there. It's just basically a dash line, really, which is how they used to do it in the olden days, really, of old circuits as well. But not everyone has come into the pits to pit for intermediates, though. Watching Sonoda here push the Alpine of Pierre Gasly around as well, and up at the front both McLarens have decided also not to pit. And this is a particular interest because we've got half the point where half the grid have actually pitted, and the other half have decided to stay out on the 4 wet tyres, and we've got a situation now where Hadjar and Lawson are slowing everyone up. There's an Alpine that's also not stopped. Then you've got the likes of Hamilton, Alonso as well, and Antonelli there as well, and that's an engine failure for my teammate Esteban Ocon. He is out of the race. Not that he was actually in last anyway, so well, he wasn't last. He was actually last enough before the pit stops and actually made it up. I've been caught by Nico Hulkenberg. I do think that the AI are a little bit strong in the wet, and I do think that on traction they are OP like they were on F122. They do need adjusting there, I think, definitely for sure. So Hulkenberg not really having a go there. So we're watching Hamilton. Is he going to get past Gasly into Beckett's and Maggots as well? Round the outside, turning inside for the next corner. And yes, it's a lovely move by Hamilton, and he's past one of the 3 slow cars, but it's a little bit too late there. He needed to make that move about 10 laps ago. Well, not 10 laps ago, about 5 laps ago, as soon as he came out of the pits. And he's got past Hadjar there as well, but it's too late for Lewis as well to make any impact. Oscar Piastri and the 2 McLarens are going to win this race on a 0-stop strategy. So yes, that's something to watch out for in career modes. You might see some AI choose to stay out on the wets or stay out on the inters, depending what's happened. I'm just about going to finish in front of Hulkenberg and Stroll. Stroll called me at the end. There was a 4-second gap when it came out of the pits, but it's not as slow as what the Toro Rossos were driving at, because I was catching them too. So yes, I'm not entirely sure if it's just me. I did have the AI on 91 for this race, and not really a custom setup. So when I do career mode, driver career mode tomorrow, it will be a custom setup, what's available, and also in the dryer obviously as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the AI like there, but a smattering of the 0-stop seems to be better. Probably no thanks to my pace, but even then, trying to make up a pit stop, it just wasn't great. You can see Lewis, apart from Verstappen even didn't make up any positions. He was third and actually lost out by making a pit stop, even though he set a fastest lap of 43.5, 44.7. Piastri was on 4 wet tyres there. So there is that interesting contrast between the wets and the inters. There isn't, where we would just see that in real life everyone prefers the inters, and they want to get off that full wet tyre as soon as possible. In the game, the difference between the wets and the inters, apart from the tyre wear, which I think really caught the Toro Rossos out in the end, even though I think that the AI have got less tyre wear because they've been able to do, my tyres were on 30% on the rears, and they've been able to do the full race, so 60% tyre wear by the end would have been horrible to deal with, and they'd be sliding out all over the place. Yes, but that is where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, see plenty more F125 gameplay videos as and when they come out. Let me know what you think about wet weather gameplay. Obviously the graphics are not the best, and the spray, we always say we prefer the old F1 games where if you get too close behind the car behind, you can't actually see in the full wet as well. I personally like the fact that some of them haven't made that stop onto inters, but at the same time I don't think McLarens and Ferrari, and realistically in real life, would have made that stop, especially with Verstappen closing in. But yes, I've rambled on for far too long. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, see plenty more F125 content as well to come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.